The fourth wall is a lie.
Oh yeah.
Beyond the fourth wall, there's a lot of opportunity.
Oh yeah.
One. Breaking the fourth wall.
Oh yeah.
Two.
With a flotilla. A fleet of yachts that
With the fourth wall crumbling.
Oh yeah.
Three.
Quality merchant.
Four. Hey guys, the fourth wall is falling.
Oh yeah.
Five.
We got a 2008 totally new refurbished
flotilla.
And six. Here on top of the fourth wall with Basketball Van de Quay.
Oh yeah. Get your butt right down the Rhinestone name modem.
There's something more. You can come up on this fourth wall too.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this fourth wall.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the more intense. Welcome. This is YouTube Platonics Governing Virtue stream from Grimgriz on the 13th of November 2024. I'm Grimgriz, also known as General Griswold Gaius Grim of the First LARP Ingression Protocol. Welcome. Hello. I see the assassins have failed. Sorry for the rough start. My poor computer just had to go through an update and restart, and It's rough. It's rough, Diogo. Plus, I had to update the Fancy Pants board of Shadow Cabal there behind me. Do you see? Do you see the board? Do you see? No, not really. Welcome. Okay. Well, see, you're on a live stream with the Grim Grizz and the thing, and I give you a savings throw, and there's lots of mind control, and it'll be fun, you know.
It's a whisper in your ear. Now listen here. Remember, embody. It's all so clear. No hidden strings, no puppeteer. We're by your side. Have no fear. I cherish truth. I cherish truth. Remember, embody, there is no agency. We want what's best for you.
Governing virtue. Yeah, look at that lady. Well, and I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. I'm thrown aback. Everything looks different, and I didn't change any of my settings, and so I don't know why you guys look like this now. You're like so much larger, and it's just awkward for me. +5 to today's savings throws for the first person who makes a chatty chat over on the XBall network platform, so I can see what happens when it looks like that. You'll probably have a big fancy X where the Goat Song has the YouTube, but anyway, let's see. We're gonna give you savings throws against mind control. I'll probably show some cards. Today is a little adjunct professing by request, and also YouTube Platonics and virtue governing. There, Goat Song with the +5 to today's savings throw. And look at that fancy avatar he's got over there. Look at that there. Okay, and so the savings throws against mind control, you're swimming in it, don't you know? I play it as branding and showing strange images while I'm talking to you. But just the commercials count as mind control. And here you get the savings throw against it. For your own sanity, brought to you by the Shadow Cabal of production executives, including Upcycle Club and the German Dragon. So prepare yourselves for the savings throw. You'll have to make a choice. That's the way that thing goes.
Remember it. This agency. We want.
In all our searching, the only thing we've found that makes the emptiness bearable is each other.
We all know that there is no agency. Any living gent can see doing what is right for me is lifting up my bro so he can grow some eyes to see that doing what is right for me increases all our agency.
Oh, Life of Brian coming in just a little late. +3 for you for the effort there, Brian. How about that? Okay, so they get bonuses to their savings throw. The savings throws are throws of these dice: the survival die, the social die, the wisdom die, and the heart die. You're choosing one of the 4 as the basis for your resistance to the mind control: your will to survive, your social network, your accumulated wisdom, or the power of your heart. And you make the choice: survival, social, wisdom, or heart. I roll the die. If it's over 10, with your bonuses, usually with your bonuses. There's the nat 1 situation. But usually with your bonuses, if it's over 10, then you take half damage from the mind control in the show and the rest of your day. For the rest of your day. It applies for the whole day. Like you might be about to go into a meeting. Well, that'd be a terrible place to be mind controlled. Better get your savings throw. Survival, social, wisdom, or heart. Choose. Oh, sorry. I hadn't picked up the Indigo kids. I left them at school. Survival, social, wisdom, or heart. Choose. Survivalist with a 5. 5. Those of you who made a replay comment are still okay. Socialist, 15. You'll be fine. That's half damage for you. Lovers of Wisdom, Prime, 17. Much like the pricing of the future to come Grimgriz coffee. And Heart Folks with a 6. A 6. That's it. You get +2 for a Hive Mind chat. Maybe a member of the Hive Mind chat can give you the 7 Indigo emoji bonus. That's a +7. Indigo Kids, you got the number 9. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. Again. Man, I hate it when you guys get that one. Tangerine. Tangerine. Yes, Pastor Paul Van de Clay, the whole day. And we'll be getting into having words with you very, very soon.
I'm not a cat.
I just wanted to mention that there is a second verse to this shanty.
We all know that there is no agency any living gent can see. Doing what is right for me is lifting up my bro so he can grow some eyes to see that doing what is right for me increases all our agency.
It was penned by the one and only Avril Pilotson and goes, "Hey, Grim Grizz, we all could use a savings throw. Give those colored dice a roll." And then goes into some part about a foe and I don't like it being in the shanty, that we bring the foe into the shanty. So I don't ignore that part of the line. And we need the second half of Avriel's second verse as a bonus. I don't know. What? Play this now. Okay. So to start the show, you should probably know that there's a fella named Kale Zeldin. And via the way we mutually interact in this virtual playground of different platforms, YouTubes and the other ones, and maybe ones that we'll expand to when we find the others. I got influenced by the guy who has colonized me today. He mentioned something called Meno, or a guy named Meno. It turns out it's one of the Plato things called Meno, and it's about virtue and stuff. And I ended up reading it. Now I don't often read much Plato, but I do. I was blessed with the memory this morning that when I first heard about Socrates, I said, "That's what I want to do for a living. That's what I want to do for a living." And the casino deck card of the show is the 5 of spades. And then,
oh shoot, where was I going with this? Attention.
this means that the individual's psyche is far from being safely synthesized. On the contrary, it threatens to fragment only too easily under the onslaught of unchecked emotions. While this situation is familiar to us from the studies of anthropologists, it is not so irrelevant to our own advanced civilization as it might seem. We too can become dissociated and lose our identity. We can be possessed and altered by moods, or become unreasonable and unable to recall important facts about ourselves or others, so that people ask, "What the devil has gotten into you?" We talk about being able to control ourselves, but self-control is a rare and remarkable virtue. I'd like to announce that we have a new open position at the Broken Clock Tower Discord for person to watch Pastor Paul's videos for any time he says Grizz is going to, and then to do that so I don't have to. Because
Gilchrist in his preface to The Master and His Emissary, I think it was in the preface, or perhaps it was the little paper that he did before. See, this is why I'm not an academic. I don't have any patience to get all these footnotes right. You can do it in the comments if you want to. But there's a flattening that happens when you explain. And it's a very interesting sort of flattening, because you are translating, but you're translating in a way that sort of imbibes of the heady wine of modernity, because you think, if I can translate it, then I can domesticate it, then I can wield it, then I can own it, and then then I can wield and own others through my explanation. Go back to my talk with Chris Green at that breakthrough moment when he talks about the fact that he doesn't use these words. We push up to the top of the hierarchy those who can explain and listify and create listicles, and then we really love those who have large listicles. And
oh boy, howdy, Pastor Paul. We got a large listicle for you. Because what we did was went over to our good friend, the ChatGPT. And I said, please generate a huge listicle on virtue. And boy, how they did it. Look at the size of this listicle. Let me show you big and up close. It's got number 1, number 2, number 3, the cardinal virtues of ancient philosophy. All the way down to number 28, the legacy of virtue, inspiring future generations. Role models leading by example, encouraging others to act virtuously. Look at the size of this listicle, boys and girls. This is the power we have today with the super demonic AI that we're interfacing with. The power to generate massive listicles on demand. Welcome. We hope you're feeling virtually not alone. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this tab instead.
Who sort of the libido dominante in the explanatory world, where they dominante, who sort of the libido dominante in the explanatory world, where Grimgriz is going to make one heck of an AI generated thumbnail for what I just said.
There, that's what it spit out, Pastor Paul. Well, it was one of 3. I chose the one that was a lady because I know you'd like that the best. You know, I do it over on NightCafe. I like their point system, but when you go pro, they just give you more points, and that's kind of lame. But here's another one it made for this libido dominante that I thought was cool. But since, you requested it, I know you'd prefer this one for some reason. I did. What it... Parlato, I'm really glad you brought that up. Oh, sorry. Turn it up. Matthew Parlato says drag queens can have reading story hour only if they read Little Red Riding by Jonathan Pajot, which reminded me of one of my favorite parts of today's Pastor Paul Homeroom video. Share this tab instead. Let's scroll up.
He is using printing presses. And again, it's not that you mustn't use them. It's just really important that when you do use them, you understand what is happening. Boy, that's probably what I said is inscrutable to many of you, but it's a really important point in terms of understanding his project, as well as the project of trying to rescue storytelling.
Little Taylor, we're doing girl fairy tales, boy fairy tales, but in a way that will bring them together.
Fluid identity fairy tales.
Yeah, we could. I'm tempted to do Little Red Riding Hood. Actually, I'm actually tempted to do that. Maybe off series with a black cover or something. You know, to kind of talk about the problem of
the wolf,
and also the
in grandma's clothing.
Yes,
that wolf.
Yes, that wolf.
Yeah.
And we might do something about that, but for now, it's mostly just celebrate.
See, that part. I'm having this fancy thing happening right now where X thinks I'm not logged in. That's pretty inconvenient. This tab I'm still logged in. That's nice. Okay. All right. Yay for technical difficulties. Woo.
Remember, there is no agency. We want what's best.
Yes, that's fascinating. Let's see if we can get. We gotta get to this. There's this bit. If it'll play. I was wondering if we could buy stock in the Peterson Academy because of this fantastic thing here.
Now a new institution called the American Academy. Its mission will be to make a truly world-class education available to every American, free of charge, and do it without adding a single dime to the federal debt. This institution will gather an entire universe of the highest quality educational content covering the full spectrum of human knowledge and skills, and make that material available to every American citizen online for free. Whether you want lectures or ancient histories or an introduction to financial accounting or training in a skilled trade, the goal will be to deliver it and get it done properly. Using study groups, mentors, industry partnerships, and the latest breakthrough in computing, this will be a truly top-tier education option for the people. It will be strictly non-political, and there will be no wokeness or jihadism allowed. None of that's going to be allowed. Most importantly, the American.
So if, because he's running around with that Bobby Kennedy fella, and we've seen those guys on stage with Peterson, and Peterson's doing the Peterson Academy. So if you can buy stock in it, I probably would.
About to go into a dark winter. And
where were we before X logged me out for no reason? Oh, yes, this part, but that was that part. And we wanted to go this part again. And then.
Those who can explain and listify and create listicles, and then we really love those who have large listicles, and who sort of the libido dominante in the explanatory world, where they.
Now I'm like, if I have to make a thumbnail of it, I should probably figure out what it is, and so I just put it into the search tab, which I've since switched to the images. If you press back enough, will you be saved? No.
I'm not a cat.
Need to articulate the good.
Yeah.
I will quote Fifth Element and say that time is not important. Only life is important.
Time not important, only life important.
Like love. Love is worth saving.
I don't know love. Now encompasses everything. Does it not?
It's all there is.
It's all there is.
You choose survival, social, wisdom, or heart.
Miss, multipass.
I do believe that this consciousness is sort of like a meat popsicle, as Bruce Willis in The Fifth Element called it.
Sir, are you classified as human? Negative. I am a meat popsicle. Chad just got an elliptical. Chad, get in here. I'll show you what's up. Show you how it's done.
Fifth Element, and the gal that's playing in Fifth Element, I had the same. So I had this tendency to be able to be captured by the stories or the performances, and I think there's something similar to that. If I'm watching a movie or a film and I'm immersed in the story, that's a flow state too.
But life is time. Your life is made up of the time you have. That's all it is.
You see, Father, by creating a little destruction,
A cherry.
I'm in fact encouraging life.
You're a monster, Zook. I know.
See, you've given yourself up. But this is the most powerful thing that can be done. Surrender.
Why don't you take this opportunity to answer that in the Hive Mind chat or in the comments if you're watching the replay? What do you want to exist even if you don't? And how much of a difference do you make to it?
Wind blows. Fire burns.
There are some things, very nice things worth saving.
Like love.
Like love. Love is worth saving.
I don't know love.
Because I love you.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 1. So what happened was when I saw this part about the Red Riding Hood and Peugeot that I played the clip for moments ago, I immediately went over to Grok and had it to have me draw this. You've heard of the gender unicorn, but what about the transgender werewolf? And for those of you just listening, it shows a wolf in grandma clothes that is saying you were born in the wrong belly. And Grok refused to put the E on born. It was supposed to be B-O-R-N-E in the wrong belly. But that's what happens when Peugeot says Little Red Riding Hood.
Don't take my sunshine away.
And while I've since lost the tab, Pastor Paul said I was going to make a thumbnail out of Libido Dominante. And I was like, hey, AI guy, what's that? And they said it was from E. Michael Jones. And I said, E. Michael Jones? And he said, yeah, it's E. Michael Jones. And so here you go.
When you start seeing more and more because you're willing to take the burden and the pain of not immediate gratification, you are rewarded. But a lot of people aren't willing to go that first step of just any blind faith. It's worth it for them just to follow, Dr. Faust.
Well, that's the other point. What's their plan? So in other words, when you abdicate the responsibility, when you deny the big plan, the Logos plan, then you get subjected to the science plan.
Right. There's
and the
another
science plan and the liberation, the so-called liberation plan. So you can do whatever you want. You're Prometheus. You can do it, and you can have it on your terms and be your own man. And then you end up being a slave to your passions and ruled by someone else, who then can invoke science. Well, now we have the ability to step back and say, well, wait a minute. Okay, you're a scientist, but how does that fit into the big plan? Or are you the big plan? Am I stuck?
LARP! We have the ability to LARP and LARP hard. LARP! We have the ability to LARP and LARP hard. That was a McMo one, I think. I believe that was a McMo masterpiece. I think that was his stylistic impression, signature thereof. Okay. Everybody making, you see all this corn? You see all this corn? This is my secret plan to get Hive Mind chat activity up. And no, but these guys who made corn get +4 to tomorrow savings throws. These guys who said words that let me know I'm muted get a +2 to tomorrow savings throws. Way to go, way to go. Okay. What happened was, where I can either read Plato or move further down this card. And moving further down this card is the embodied noosphere. The embodied noosphere. The embodied noosphere agency, that card of the show. The King of Hearts. And what that is riffing off of is I had this notion that hopefully we can find, it's here, that I put over on this, which I'm apparently currently banned over on Twitter. My account may not be allowed to perform this action, but we still get to see it for the moment. And as I said, is the control of our muscles algorithmic social media? Our nervous system can send an electrical signal to a small handheld mirror in each cell. What signal does it send to make the cell contract? What signal does it send to make the cell relax? What does it put in the feed? Our brains, when it feeds our muscles, commands. What is the nature of that feeding? Is it not? Are we not the embodiment of the noosphere as controlled by algorithmic feeds? Maybe.
Although this world will devastate you, and rejoice although this world will penetrate you, and rejoice although you will not survive. Rejoice you'll never make it out alive.
Excellent rehearsal, gentlemen.
And rejoice, your hair, it smells like burning hair. Oh, rejoice, your nails all got chewed off. Oh, rejoice, and holy fuck, you're bleeding there. Oh, rejoice, you burn your whole beard off. Rejoice, despite the fact this world will hurt you. And rejoice despite the fact this world will kill you.
and rejoice despite the fact this world will tear you to shreds. Rejoice because you're trying your best.
Hey, I love that one, dude. That's gorgeous. Thank you, brother. Wait, who's that brother?
Andrew Jackson.
Loqui quasi mortui sumus. Speaking of which, the last thing on this card is Monster Manual. Corporations are dragons, anatomy of a book production. So this Pastor Paul's doing his homeroom over Jonathan Pageau's new book, Jack and the Fallen Giants, available at the link I'm not putting in here, and at the symbolicworld.com. And .com. Wow, that was weird. But a monster manual of corporations being dragons is such that, like, there's people that do things that bring a book into manifestation. Publishing, there's these compartments and layers, and departments that handle certain functions in that corpus. And the anatomy of those beasts would be terribly convenient. As such, we are, and I do need accountability stalking on this one. I'd like to actually deliver on the Discord watch parties of the Newsroom series, of the series Newsroom, I believe it's called, because I'd like this to be more of one as a Discord, and with that programming, it should clearly help. Canadian deck card for the show is the Eight of Diamonds. And so Monster Manual. What are these organizations that produce things that shape the minds of people? What are their traditional structures? What's the editorial room? And what pieces of a puzzle are they usually using to do their magic? Now that we have the means of production, to the extent we mimic the forms of magic they're used to producing, we're speaking in the layer that the people have been programmed to receive.
But he's overcoming something rather than, a true marksman will look at the arrows available and say, if I want to hit the target, I'll pick the best arrow so that I can hit the target. A true marksman might say, all of these arrows are crap. This arrow is at least crappy in a way that I can work with. But he's overcoming something rather than, a true marksman will look at the arrows available and say, if I want to hit the target, I'll pick the best arrow so that I can hit the target. A true marksman might say, all of these arrows are crap. This arrow is at least crappy in a way that I can work with.
And now to deliver on the, the thumbnail? Yes, the governing virtue. I have to read from this Memo thing and then find a thing that Pastor Paul said. So, oh, goodness gracious me. We apparently need more Special thanks to the Shadow Cabal. So say we all. All right, we found it. So basically, when you read Socrates, it's important to note a couple of things. First of all, the YouTube Platonics portion is that basically Plato was the first YouTube, and this was the first podcast, right? It's just two guys having a conversation. So Plato and YouTube, that's the YouTube Platonics title delivery. Bam. And now for the governing virtue bit, part of this Meno thing here I found at classics.mit.edu/Plato/Meno.html. By the gods, Meno, be generous and tell me what you say that virtue is, for I shall be truly delighted to find that I have been mistaken, and that you and Gargantuan do really have this knowledge, although I have been just saying that I have never found anybody who had. There will be no difficulty, Socrates, in answering your question. Let us first take the virtue of a man. He should know how to administer the state, and in the administration of it to benefit his friends and harm his enemies. And he must also be careful not to suffer harm himself. A woman's virtue, if you wish to know about that, may also be easily described. Her duty is to order her house, and to keep what is indoors, and to obey her husband. Every age, every condition of life, young or old, male or female, bond or free, has a different virtue. There are virtues numberless and lack no definition of them, for virtue is relative to the actions and ages of each of us in all that we do. And the same may be said of vice, Socrates. So, anyway, it gets to the point where he says that the act of governance is of a state is the man's job, and the governance of the whatever household is a woman's job. And then Socrates side rails him. But the thing of it is governance is the virtue. The beast takes what the beast wants, and governing the beast so that it doesn't and screws up your life. It's the governance of self. And then it just so happened that over here in control left govern. Pastor Paul says, share this tab instead.
What's the relationship between Real, Spanish, Camino Real, the royal road, and real and royalty? Reality is about governing. What does it mean to govern? Reality is about governing.
What a coincidence that those things would encounter my brain together on this day. It's almost as if somebody else was.
The list? Yes, any of the first level ones.
I'm gonna get a soda. Anyone want one? Hey, Graham, I'm not in the room, right?
What room? I want to cast Magic Missile.
The room where he's casting all these spells from.
He hasn't cast anything yet. I am, though, if you'd listen. I'm casting Magic Missile. Why are you casting Magic Missile? There's nothing to attack here. I'm attacking the darkness.
And then,
what does it mean to govern? And this is very much what this conversation is about. But Peterson is looking at the real, and what happens in the real in modernity is what the real is: material, cause and effect, emergent outcomes, because governing comes from below. In a reductive materialist system, governing comes from below. And a lot of what this conversation has been saying, oh no, just did a Vervaekeism. No. Governing is from above. That's the definition of above.